Before we begin the video, let me pose a question onto you, my viewer. Have you ever been in a group project and one or two of the people in that group do not perform the tasks that they have been appointed with, agreed with by the whole group? Or worse yet, they somehow manage to make even more tasks to do overall than what there was in the beginning of the project? Well, if you have ever been in that scenario, I get you, and I feel your pain. Over the horizon, however, on another day or another week, or maybe even the next month, those people in your project over time pull their weight together and perform the tasks that they have been set out to do and flourish just like the rest of you. The reason why I am saying this is that in this particular scenario, one tower was the leading role, the one who started the ball rolling, performed their tasks to the T. The other tower, however, started to struggle at some point and created even more work for the other tower to do to carry the team over to the finish line. In this video is my tale of how I managed to perform the 2-tower CHIMPS achievement with a team leader in the Golden Justice, along with the struggle of this entire run for one who created more work for the bounty hunter than Golden Justice to pick up on. Adora, a hero that I love, but that is so horrible for 2TCs in update 49 from her nerfs in multiple updates starting from update 36. Regardless, let us begin. Managed the first few rounds with a 200 Desperado with no worries. I placed Desperado here as they have good access points to snipe multiple sections of the track, along with being a good spot to cover the exit. On round 12, we acquire the money necessary to place down Adora. This spot top right of the center circle is important to delay her attacks on balloons as much as possible, while also being able to contribute necessary damage for the early and late game. We'll talk about mid-game when we get there, though with Adora she levels up really slowly. Her and Churchill are among the heroes that takes the most amount of rounds to get from level 1 to level 20. Adora's early game is decent at best, covering the weaknesses that Desperado has at this stage of the game by not hitting enough balloons to carry through rounds like 27. On round 27 we acquired the Deadeye upgrade for Desperado. We didn't need to worry about lead balloons as we have Adora, but having the chance to hit more than one target, along with doing high damage now, is very welcoming. On top of this, we have acquired the Take Aim ability, which we can grant a temporary additional 25% extra range, along with being able to damage camera balloons on a selected tower. Progressing smoothly through the 30s and onto round 39, we have the money to purchase Bounty Hunter, and my smooth brain finally clicks the purchase during round 40, where our 2 towers slayed the first Moab of the game. Many more to go. With the Bounty Hunter acquired, we now have an even more powerful rifle than before, along with access to the Marks to Pop ability, which rapidly marks targets then dispatches them in quick succession, though it does temporarily stop Desperado from attacking, just keep that in mind. On top of this, Take Aim now grants a temporary 50% additional extra range, along with being able to pop black, white, purple and camo balloons. For Adora, while Take Aim is active on her, it covers her 2 weaknesses on a single target, purples and camos. Round 49 is the first round of many that we struggled on. There are lots of balloons to pop, including some ceramics, along with regrow rainbows packed in with lots of green balloons, which are very annoying if you enable Adora to damage them, as she won't be able to pop them, but just damage them and enable them to multiply. This is where I talked about the group projects thing earlier. One member may cause more tasks ahead than the group began with. And Adora and Regrows is a recipe for disaster if they are not one-shotted by the Bounty Hunter before they reach Adora. To solve this, we naturally take out the ceramics with Bounty Hunter set to strong, and use the Marked to Pop ability on the rainbows while still being set to strong, so Bounty Hunter only marks and pops the strongest balloons on the screen. that being the rainbows. The early 50s were no trouble at all. While we are in the mid-game, 49 was the only round in the 40s to give us trouble. But the 60s, 70s and 90s present multiple unforgiving trials of suffering that I just wish at times that Voidora would just sack me into the void away from all of the pain that this scenario caused me. Deep breaths. Anyways, 57 was the next problematic round, as ceramics making their way to Adora after Mars being popped can cause too many numbers for both towers to handle. So we put Adora on last to ensure that she does as little damage to the ceramics as possible for them to be one-shotted by the Bounty Hunter. Also use Take Aim on Bounty Hunter to increase their attack range. 58 wasn't too difficult as the balloons were spaced out. 59, same story, no trouble at all. 60 though gave us some issues with being able to pop the BFB, with the ceramics inside the mirrors being the main cause of concern. Though these were nothing in comparison to round 61 and the first of few Regrow heavy rounds that were absolutely horrible for these two towers, with Adora contributing nothing but causing even more zebras to spawn. We wanted to acquire the Golden Justice as quickly as possible, but we cannot progress through round 61 without purchasing Adora's level 10 ability, which grants us access to her Ball of Light ability, which to be honest is her only reliable source of damage. But that 20k plus just to get that level, it's worth it though. Though we need to use it on round 61 when it is ready, I wanted to delay the end of round 61 as much as possible to get the Ball of Light back as quickly as possible, as it has such a short ability duration while having a long ability cooldown. Eventually we managed and we progressed onto round 62. Another horrible round. We have two means for Adora to overcome her purple weakness with her level 3 ability and the Take Aim ability. But like with round 61, we need to manage Adora's Ball of Light ability, as we need it for round 63 against the chunks of ceramics. About 10 minutes later, we have found a line that works for round 62.
Make ready. Darkness seeks you.
And now the horrors of round 63. Again, we do not want Adora to damage the ceramics to where they start downscaling and turning into more balloons. We want the Bounty Hunter to one-shot as many of them as possible. Through the combination of strong targeting on Bounty Hunter, marks to pop ability, Take Aim ability on Bounty Hunter, along with the Ball of Light ability from Adora, we prevailed through round 63.
Feed me. Darkness seeks you. Yes. Yes.
Round 64 gave us a few issues, with the ceramics inside the Moabs being the main issue, but not as arduous as some of the previous rounds.
Make ready. Always. Feed me. Welcomes you.
Now on to round 65, with a string of zebra balloons followed up by a string of rainbow balloons, then followed up by a string of ceramics, yippee! Then followed by 3 Moabs and 2 BFBs. This was another horrendous round that took me about 30 minutes to fathom out a strategy that both works while also considering Adora's ability cooldowns in mind.
Others escape. Present and future. Darkness seeks you. Present and future. Void welcomes you. Yes.
Round 66 wasn't too bad, with ceramics on the insides of the Moabs being the main issue. Look, I know I am repeating myself a lot, but enabling Adora to damage ceramics enough for them to downscale makes the bounty hunter's job so much harder. Same with round 67, but at least some of the ceramics have camo that Adora cannot target by default. Round 68, not too much trouble as the groups of Moabs are spaced out throughout the round. Now then, round 69. Not a nice round to say the least, but an incredibly important round progressing forward. We need to use Adora's Ball of Light ability near the beginning of a round to ensure that it is as recharged as possible for round 70, as we need to clear the beginning of round 69. There's something else which I need to do throughout round 69, and that involves a bug with the Take Aim ability when it is still active going into another round in update 49. This is very clear here. Update 49, possibly fixed in update 50. Normally, the ability expires halfway between the Take Aim ability being active and then the ability being recharged to use again. But if you enable the Take Aim ability to still be active on the selected tower when the next round starts, then fail the round, what you will find is the Take Aim ability currently active on a tower has its ability duration, not the cooldown, duration reset as if you have just put the ability on the tower. And this is absolutely crucial for round 70, which normally would be an impossible scenario for both Bounty Hunter and Adora at level 10. She's still at level 10. It's been 9 rounds since we upgraded her to level 10. She is such a slow learner of her own powers. But if rounds like 49, 61, 62, and 63 were roadblocks, round 70 is like the entrance to a cave collapsing in comparison to a roadblock, with the entrance to the cave being the only way forward. But hey, guess what? The entrance to the cave has collapsed. The only path forward was through that cave, through the collapsed debris that looked impossible to wage a way through, and our only way through, our only shot, our only ticket to success was using the take aim ability bug on Adora to enable her to contribute to popping the camo regrow white balloons on round 70. When thinking about this combination of towers, when looking at all of the rounds that have presented themselves so far, in most runs, round 70 is usually a flat plane that is not worth thinking about or even considering as a round to struggle on. But for these two towers struggled and struggled and struggled to no avail. This was the point where I felt that this combination was not possible, that no matter how I manipulated my microing, or when I fired off marks to pop, or the long arm of light, or the ball of light ability, no matter what, I felt stuck with no progress forward. I cannot put together a strategy that is a guaranteed way of progressing through, as I was faced with hundreds of failure screens, along with doubt if I can actually make it through. I could have upgraded Adora to level 10 for increased attack speed, but I did not want to spend another 1k on her if she just proceeds to level 11 the next round, along with being 1k short her on getting Golden Justice. I needed to get away from this challenge for the day and come back the following day, continuing the suffering of this abomination of a round. Though the next attempt you will see was blessed by the Sun God, that they wanted to get their devoid of matter servant through this otherwise impossible mountain to surmount.
And future. Darkness seeks you. Present and future. Grace and love. Yes. Make ready. Darkness seeks you. Yes.
Seeing round 71, along with a different set of balloons spawn, gave me a new sense of confidence as we progressed forward. We got through the collapsed cave with nothing but a worn out fork and a dream. I stopped recording and took a break from the game. We strive forward though, and with it another round to give us some trouble. But like with some other rounds, the ceramics were the main problem. Round 72 we have Regrows ceramics to consider and 2 BFBs. Obviously if we enable them to get to Adora, she has the opportunity to generate more Regrows that a bounty hunter knows to consider. So they need to be decimated first, then the BFBs and their insides afterwards. though finding a successful yet safe as possible play for our abilities to recharge as much as possible is incredibly risky but needed.
Let no others escape. Beware the encroacher. Darkness seeks you.
I'm always considering our abilities as we go through the rounds, as all of them, not you blood sacrifice, are incredibly important to our run to both use, but also recharge as much as possible for when we desperately need to use them for their next usage. Round 73 was the first round of many that didn't feel horrifying to go through, but I felt at peace, and I needed that temporary moment of peace as we go through the rest of the 70s. Round 74 gives us so many ceramics to handle, but luckily they are spaced out enough so that the bounty hunter can solo nearly all of them before a BFB appears, and the camo regrow fortified ceramics are a blessing, no pun intended, as Adora cannot damage them when they go in her attack range. Round 75 grants us with the finance of upgrading the bounty hunter that has toiled their way through from round 40 onwards to get to this point. A new-founded sense of power and a makeshift ray of doom is with us at last, and any amount of ceramics in a straight line will be completely decimated. But we still need to get through the round. We still need to strive forward to get the remaining 300 cash or so starting the round to get to this newfound power that we oh so desperately require for the remaining rounds ahead. And with that, our remaining funds can be funded to the void deity of space. With that, we strive forward with the Golden Justice, making the rest of round 75 along with round 76 a breeze. And this is why I held out on upgrading Adora on round 70, because that extra 1k was vital to getting Golden Justice for round 76. It absolutely mattered the suffering of round 70. Without that additional attack speed on Adora was worth it. Round 77 was once again a round that Adora gave us problems for the Golden Justice to handle with the ceramics that spawned from a mirage throughout the round, but no big trouble. Round 78 sweeps clean with both towers, mainly Golden Justice, as we progress to the next collapsed cave entrance in front of us. Round 79. Like with round 70, this one took so long to complete, and so many attempts to even fathom out, even with our newfound power from the Bounty Hunter to the Golden Justice, a way forward with the horrifying swarm of regrow rainbows forever present throughout the round up until the very end. This is where Adora, outside of her ball of light ability, was at her worst. Her flaws as clear as a bright full moon on a clear night. Her struggles to pop hordes of balloons were an absolute nightmare. She only made the horde even larger with her minuscule attack speed, pierce, and damage output at this given point in time in the game. This was also the round where I had the most confusion with Adora's Ball of Light ability, as I thought the target at the point of the beam targets was the only source of damage, not the whole beam itself, and the point having the potential to damage balloons and drain away Pierce to the point where the locked on balloon from the beam does not receive any damage. Can I just sack Adora at this point? On this round, everything needed to be mustered, because I know that round 80 would be a free round where our abilities have vital time to recharge. Spamming over the course of 2 days of regrows turning into more regrows. What I thought was a bug with the ability and its interaction with the various possible paths of tar pits. I crawled, sweated, struggled through the terrifying feeling, like with round 70, that this might be the end of the run and the halt of 3 days of progress. But enough talking, as this is the final round that weighs down Adora, as she will ascend. We will ascend alongside the Golden Justice past the mid game and into the late game. This is how I did it over the course of over 5 hours of failures to get through this demonic spawn of a round for these 2 towers. I even needed to pause, as I couldn't believe it. Round 79 was done. Finally done! Round 80 was the last round before we get into the free play rounds. And with that, the change to ceramics that I basked in the light with, as they no longer multiply from round 81 onwards. And this is where Adora becomes not unbearable like in the mid game. At level 14 on round 83, Adora is still not good against ceramics to help clear up, but her only damage of them but not destroying them gives us some breathing room for the Golden Justice to shatter the makeshift carapace into scrap to feed Scrapyard. The 80s gives us a few hiccups here and there, but an absolute delight to handle in comparison to the mid game. I'm looking at you round 70 and 79. At this point, I feel pretty confident about the run's ability to get over to the finish line. But there are still some horrible rounds to consider in the 90s. 94, 95 mainly, 96, and 98. These were the final 4 hurdles to consider. Round 91 was a consideration as well though, as the numerous BFBs and the hordes of ceramics inside were annoying to get within a straight line for Golden Justice to sweep clean, or for its dinky pistol to finish him off. Yes, I'm calling his pistol a dinky pistol, along with round 92 having some clear up for the ceramics inside the Mars from the ZMGs. They are all best suited in a straight line, and there are only a few opportunities through the various circles on the spar pits for the Golden Justice to sweep. Round 93 issues were mainly cleanup for the 4 to 5 BFBs and DDTs, but not difficult in comparison to some of the previous rounds, along with the future as we trundle our way through to the final few rounds of the run to surmount. As we make our way into round 94, this is the point in the run where RNG variables from the Golden Justice matter the most. We need those critical hits to land as much as possible, while not creating an unbearable amount of ceramics for us to not being able to handle if they are displaced all across the map. Even out-piercing Adora's Ball of Light ability while our balloons do not create any children anymore. Like with some other rounds, I can't really put together a strategy in words aside from trial and error, seeing what definitely doesn't work along with what gets you closer to completing the round. Both the BFBs and ZOMGs look overwhelming for our two towers. The same is said with rounds 96 and 98, but with more variables on round 96 with MURBs and fortified MURBs to consider alongside BFBs and ZOMGs. This was quite the roadblock and a consideration at the very least. And most importantly, we need to use the take aim ability bug again, like with round 69 going into 70, but for round 94 going into round 95. I was very hesitant on this round as I need to get the take aim ability cooldown as close to the halfway marker as possible to retain the ability when failing on round 95, then reloading round 95 for the ability duration to reset. I was too preemptive strike with some possibly successful attempts on round 94 as take aim would expire on Adora and therefore multiple days of progress down the gutter. I heard that there is a way to save your progress in the files of the game, but I did not incorporate it here. The MURB class balloons look intimidating, and the ceramics inside looked overwhelming with their sheer numbers. But this is the winning round 94 attempt, but I was too hesitant on the take aim ability on Adora. It is only 20% of a way to recharging, and panic was the mildest word I could describe my positioning right now going into round 95. Though at the very least the ability is active on Adora. Purples on this round being camouflaged are diabolical in a lot of runs, and run ending with a combo that cannot complete this run or runs that have their ability timings off to not being able to deal with the first half of a round going into the second half. And what I have done here is fallen to the latter. I felt that the previous 90 rounds or so have been all for naught now, as I mistimed the take aim ability in round 94 way too late. I thought I had more time throughout the round. I didn't think that the Golden Justice would take care of the remaining Moabs and ceramics so quickly, where quick draw and standoff rarely have an effect in these late rounds, and these bit me. I couldn't look back though. I knew that this was the only way through, that these were the dice rolls I have been rolled, and knowing the pain of redoing rounds 70 and 79, the only way through this horrible round was forward, not restarting just for better manipulation of take aim. Like with round 79, this took another grueling 5 hours of constant failure screens and seeds of doubt if I can do this round. Perhaps this was where this journey ended. We have no means of progressing through, and with that, the final destination of this journey is here, without a further 5 rounds ahead of us to complete. But we have to find a line that works, and with the Golden Justice's different crit RNG variables, depending on what's in its radius, and with that, lots of room for experimenting. Though through trial and error, I found that Adora does not perform the same amount of damage on each attempt, and when take aim expires, certain rolls of damage can lead to the delay of purples leaving the track, and with that came hope. Her bolts' sporadic behavior can lead us to the one attempt that can pierce through the darkness and enable us to get through round 95. In this particular 2TC run, there are certain pop counts that Adora has that will lead to certain death before a DDT even appears, or others where they start appearing, but still feels too early to reapply take aim on Adora to help damage DDTs and clear up both camo ceramics and fortified ceramics that appears from the fortified Moabs. We are looking for a 266 number that ends with either 155 or 181, or for me in particular even the mythical 277. For me it was mythical, okay? I could not replicate it in the latter half of the 5 hours I was stuck on this round. These rolls for me personally enabled the Golden Justice to last as long as possible against the remaining purple balloons before they started to leak. This is the culmination of all those hours and the hours that came before it, like with 70 and 79, into the single successful attempt on round 95 that got us over the final cave collapse of the run.
Always, yes.
Like with my run with Golden Justice and the big one with round 95, this was a gigantic sign of relief that we have done one of the most gruesome rounds in the entire run. Just 2 more roadblocks, then we drive into the sunset. Round 96 and the various Merle class balloon types on this round are really tricky in some runs to account for, and this is no exception. Fortified Merles are both tough and fast, but at this point I'm repeating information that I've already given out at least 5 times already, just dashed out in a different order along with being slightly faster and slightly tougher Moabs. Here's round 96.
Beware. Make ready. This one seeks to break present
With that, only one more hurdle. For most runs, there are 2 hurdles after round 98, being round 99 and 100, but these are much easier to handle as we have the Golden Justice in this run. Round 97 was free and provided our abilities much needed time to recharge, and this is one of the few rounds where Quick Draw and Standoff from Desperado came into effect, as initially there are only 2 targets and both of them are near the border of the Golden Justice range, which means they can attack fast, ending the round promptly. Same thing with round 100, but only 1 target initially. Round 98 though is the final roadblock, possessing with the most amount of RBE, which stands for Red Balloon's equivalent in a standard game of chimps. The RBE doesn't scare me. Only the ceramics from the Merle class balloons do. The only thing that can end my run. But through trial and error and another 2 hours of failures, we will prevail.
This beware the encroachment. Yes.
At this point, I had the run in the bag. To be the first person to do a 2TC with Adora paired with Golden Justice, and with that the 4th ever 2TC done with Adora. The final 2 rounds were easy pickings with some minor setup required for round 95 though, with marks to pop being required for the fortified DTs. Remember to set Golden Justice to strong to damage them. As we went on to round 100, it dawned on me, this round is over. We have completed this run, and with that lots of hours of countless attempts, so many failure screens, they all paid off. They all mattered in the end in some way, shape or form. The bad looks mighty powerful, but the Golden Justice rifle makes quick work of it, securing it as the most powerful single target damage dealer out of all primary towers, and it is not even a debate. There are fewer things more satisfying than going through a perilous journey filled with so many difficulties and coming out on the other side with a smile. And it is so rare to do this in a 2-tower chimps run, but on this occasion I decided to sack the Golden Justice to get Adora to level 20 and the first and only embrace of power throughout the run. Remember to never place down another tower, as it invalidates the 2 towers placed down part of a 2-tower chimps run. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, you are a legend. Despite the nerfs Ninja Kiwi has given Adora since update 36 and in multiple updates after, Adora can still perform a 2TC under the right circumstances, those circumstances being Golden Justice doing the heavy lifting. But we wouldn't be here at this final screen without you, Adora. Along with that, thank you for being here with me on this incredible journey, everyone. Take care.